if you go back, you go all the way back to Yogi Strom, and then you come all the way up to the Crawford family and people that have been involved in Jack Madden, as I said, was a real good friend of mine for so many years, grew up in the Trenton area as I did. You know, are you saying that these officials are not only affecting the game, but they're directing the direction that the game is going in?
Yeah, I want to say that the NBA trains and programs the referees in these pregame meetings to put a certain team in an advantage. And I certainly don't think I can pick the games at 100% correct every time I pick them, but I think it's very obvious with what takes place in previous games and who's up or down in a series or what team it is plays a major role in how they program and train referees in these pregame meetings. And I'm certainly saying without a question that these referees put certain teams and certain players at a clear advantage.
Well, if you were this not only articulate about it, but if you had this type of a knowledge that you could pick 10 of 10, as you just said, why would you ever get into financial trouble? If you knew that much about what was going to happen, you wouldn't have to win 10 out of 10. If you won 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, you wouldn't have lost all your money.
I'm not sure that I don't know what you mean by I was in financial trouble. I never lost money. I was always very successful, and I profited money when I was picking NBA games.
Well, how did they influence your decisions then? How did they get to you to give them information if you weren't behind financially?
What happened was that I was making picks for a very good friend of mine, and he was transferring that information to people associated with organized crime, and it got to the point where I just felt uncomfortable continuing to do it, and we decided to stop. And, what happened was I had a game in Philadelphia, and the people that he was transferring this information were making an enormous amount of money on my picks, and when I decided to stop, they picked me up because they didn't want it to stop. They wanted the picks to continue to go on, and they basically threatened that they would expose me to the NBA or go down to Florida and visit my wife and kids if I didn't continue to, give them winning picks on NBA games.
Talking with Tim Donaghy here at WSLR. And Tim, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned when we started the interview, you're doing some counseling now. First of all, I guess you had to go through that yourself, right, after you came out of prison, or did you do it while you were in prison?
A combination of both. I did it before I was in prison, while I was in prison, and even to this day, I continue to get my own therapy and counseling on a biweekly basis just to stay sharp and stay away from those triggers that enabled me to fall into the position that I did. And, it's very helpful in sharing my story with others and, participating in, these interventions to, get these gambling addicts into treatment so that they can hopefully start going down the same road that I'm on.
Well, if you were just giving information as opposed to betting yourself, why would you have to go to an intervention? I mean, it's not an intervention to stop telling somebody. The intervention for the 12-step program, regardless of what it is, whether it's gambling, whether it's drinking, no matter what it is a 12-step program to improve you personally and your surroundings. But all you did, as you're saying, is give people information. Why would you have to go to an intervention program for that?
No, what I do is I actually provide the interventions for the people that have the gambling problems, and their families bring me in so that I can share my story and let them know what happened to me and get to them before they have the troubles that I had and get them into treatment.
Well, you said you started in prison, though. You started the interventions in prison. Who were you?
No, I just started the interventions recently. That's part of my job, and part of my job description is to be involved in going on these interventions and sharing my story with the families.
What was that, if you can tell us, what was it like the first couple of times you have somebody come in you're talking to, and if they recognize you, was there sort of a look in their eyes that might have been a little surprising? This is a man who's been on TV recently for a similar problem.
Very surprising to them, and it's a situation where, fortunately for me, I get everybody's attention rather quickly, and because of obviously my notoriety and my past poor choices, but. Again, I'm hoping to use that and turn this into a positive to help others.
Did you think that 60 Minutes did a fair job, an adequate job, a good job, an excellent job?
I think they did a fair job. There were some things I think that got cut out.
Like what?
They had some more interviews with other people that substantiated what I said, and for whatever reason they got a little scared off. They interviewed some of the Sacramento Kings players, and I think they cut out a lot of the stuff from the FBI agents that would have been more damaging towards the NBA, but due to the fact that some lawyers went into the CBS office prior to the airing of it, I think they scaled it back a little bit.
Tim, talk a little bit about the book. Is it coming out in paperback this month? Is that what's happening now? Or
it's in the process of coming out in paperback hopefully this week, and it's going to be reduced in price a little bit, and I'm really looking forward to moving forward and sharing my story, and hopefully, like I said, I get emails on a daily basis about how it's certainly touched some people, and my honesty and candidness is somewhat starting to make me feel a little better, even though I certainly did something rather stupid.
You give the title of the book, Tim, and if you have a website or people can contact you, give that out if you would.
Yeah, the book is called Personal Foul. It can be bought on Amazon.com. I also have my own website, www.timdonaghy.com, and I have an own personal email address, tfdonaghy, DONAGHY @AOL.com, and I can be reached on Facebook, and I answer everybody's emails that send them to me.
Lastly but not leastly for me, Tim, how is your former wife and the kids, how are they doing, and how are they reacting?
Everything's, still kind of a little bit of a struggle, but, I'm looking forward to, getting back in their lives on a daily basis. We speak every day, so it's certainly a work in progress, but it's something that is my top priority.
Do you plan to stay down in the Sarasota area, Tim?
Yes, absolutely. It's been a long 15 years of traveling with the NBA and being out of touch, certainly when I had to enter prison. So I'm going to stay as close to my 4 daughters as possible.
Tim, if you would, said that was the last question, but explain to the listeners, because I don't think they really have any realization of how much money an NBA official makes during the course of the season, and then projecting on into the playoffs, and also at the same time the mindset for the officials in the NBA who are cashing in their first airline tickets to get coach tickets and take the money out. I mean, all these things seem to be a dichotomy to me that I don't understand. But first of all, explain how much money that they actually make.
My last year in the league was 2007, and I was contracted to make $215,000 in salary. If you referee all the way to the finals, you can make another $80,000, and you can clearly make another $50,000 just downgrading your first-class airline tickets to coach.
Not bad.
so
you have a mindset to cheat from the beginning.
Yeah, there's a.
I mean, that's what it is. It's cheating.
The mindset of the referee is to make as much money as possible, and that certainly affected me, and hurt me in some of the choices I made.
I mean, I don't think people realize. Here you are, you're making $300,000 a year, and they pay all your expenses, all your airfare, first class, as the players go first class, and the officials are turning their tickets in and making an extra $50,000 so they're riding the coach. I mean, the whole thing just doesn't make any sense to me.
This is going to make. Not only do they downgrade the first class tickets and ride coach, but due to the fact that you're such a frequent flyer, you get upgraded right back up into first class.
I mean, it's just crazy.
It's working the system.
And we just did a half-hour show with Phil Musnick of the New York Post, and I said to Phil that, I used to be a dyed-in-the-wool NBA fan. Now I turn the games on, and I think I'm looking at a game at Attica Prison. I mean, I look at Ron Artest with his hair all colored up and tattoos all over these guys. It looks like a prison game to me. I can't watch it. I just can't watch the game the way it's played now.
Well, unfortunately for me, I know that firsthand because I was on both ends of it, so I can tell you that you're absolutely correct.
Well, Tim, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes, and I'll have to vouch for Tim. He got right back to me when I found out you were on Facebook and wrote you, and he wrote right back, and he's been very gracious, and we'd like to have you back on maybe sometime later this summer in the fall and get an update from you.
It'd be absolutely my pleasure, and I really appreciate you having me.
Great. Thanks, Tim. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great.